It's the festive season in South Africa, a time when families gather, lights twinkle, and debit orders for holiday shopping hum along without a hitch. Except for the roughly 1,600 dedicated souls at the ANC's headquarters in Luthuli House, Johannesburg. The only twinkling is the red alerts on their banking apps. For the third, or is that the fourth time this year, November salaries have gone unpaid, leaving staff scrambling to explain bounced payments to landlords and lenders as the party gears up for its pivotal National General Council, the NGC, next week. This isn't just a glitch in the system, it's a glaring symptom of a deeper malaise threatening the ANC's grip on power. The announcement landed awkwardly against the backdrop of festive December, cutting through the cheer with grim news. On November 29, ANC General Manager Patrick Flusk issued a blunt letter confirming that staff salaries for November 2025 would not be paid on time. The message carried no embellishments or excuses, only a delayed promise of eventual payment and a reminder that employees were not to blame. By December the 2nd, the situation had worsened, with salaries still outstanding. What should have been routine financial obligations became crisis. Staff members, speaking anonymously to Sunday World, described the devastating consequences. Vehicles repossessed, homes lost to foreclosure, and the humiliation of pleading with banks for extensions that had already been exhausted. The anger among long-serving employees was palpable, reflecting the frustration of a workforce repeatedly battered by Luthuli House's unpredictable finances. Now, this salary crisis is no seasonal glitch. Back in February, even senior figures such as Secretary General Fikile Mbalula were caught waiting for overdue wages alongside junior staff. By October, the problem resurfaced when a court order froze the ANC's bank accounts over an 85 million rand debt to Ezulweni Investments, the KwaZulu-Natal supplier of election posters and pamphlets. Now, with the National General Council approaching, a mid-term gathering of around 1,600 delegates expected to debate policy and power, the timing is disastrous. Rumours of a staff strike are gaining traction, with insiders warning that employees may simply stop working if payments remain stalled. The looming question is whether the ANC can muster the resources to stage the very event meant to secure its future, as financial uncertainty continues. On paper, the ANC should not be struggling to meet its obligations. In the 2023-24 fiscal year, the party drew 1.19 billion rand from the public political financial pool. This amount is more than half the total distributed to all parties. That level of funding should have been more than enough to secure stability at Luthuli House. Yet, salaries remain in disarray, with payroll delays becoming routine. Much of the hope for financial discipline was pinned on Treasurer General Gwen Ramakgopa, whose appointment was framed as a corrective to the turbulence under Paul Mashatile. Expectations were that she would steady the ship and restore credibility. Instead, the organization has continued to spring leaks under her stewardship, leaving staff and observers questioning how such vast resources could still translate into fiscal chaos. Finger-pointing has become the order of the day. ANC MP Joe Mashongwane, who chairs Parliament's Standing Committee on Finance, has argued that the 2021 Political Party Funding Act is to blame. By requiring disclosure of donors contributing more than 200,000 rand, the law has discouraged wealthy benefactors who once gave discreetly. Transparency may be a noble principle, but it has also made fundraising more difficult, especially for the ANC. Yet this explanation only scratches the surface. Membership dues have shrunk in the wake of scandals and waning enthusiasm, while election campaigns consume resources at a relentless pace. Persistent claims of an inflated payroll add to the strain, with reports dating back to 2021 noting a staff complement padded by redeployed former ministers drawing deputy minister salaries. Figures such as Malusi Gigaba and Nomvulo Mokonyane were cited as examples of this costly practice. Attempts to cut permanent deployments to just 3 never gained traction, leaving the organisation burdened by structural excess. Creditors are closing in. Alongside the 85 million rand owed to Ezulweni Investments, a new 20 million rand lawsuit has been filed by the Sisonke Consortium for unpaid campaign services from 2023-24. Court notices have gone unanswered. Demands have yielded nothing, and the ANC's debt burden continues to climb. Talk of insolvency is no longer idle speculation. But this picture is grimly familiar in South Africa, where state-owned giants like Eskom and Transnet hemorrhage billions through mismanagement. Against that backdrop, Luthuli House increasingly resembles a smaller-scale reflection of the ANC's broader governance failures. An organisation struggling to keep its own books balanced while presiding over institutions in similar decline. Online reaction has been fierce, with South Africans turning the ANC salary crisis into both satire and serious critique. On X, users have framed the situation as a bitter irony, suggesting that the liberation struggle has shifted from the streets to the party's payroll. Prominent commentators have gone further, arguing that the inability to pay staff reflects a deeper collapse of accountability and raises doubts about the ANC's capacity to manage the country's economy. The posts have gained significant traction, drawing hundreds of likes and shares, and the sentiment is spreading well beyond political insiders into the broader public conversation. Analysts have underscored the human cost of the ANC's financial turmoil, noting how promises of renewal are consistently undermined by dysfunction and disregard for staff. Online threads from outlets like Sunday World have highlighted the ritual of delayed salary notices, with Flusk's letters now seen as routine as load-shedding schedules. Social media users have amplified the issue by circulating the documents themselves, drawing significant engagement in a matter of hours. Even commentary from outside the immediate crisis adds fuel to the fire. Prominent opposition figures have linked the ANC's payroll chaos to broader governance failures, pointing to municipal salary disputes under ANC-led councils as evidence of systemic decay. Rising rates, heavier taxes, and declining services form part of a wider narrative that connects the party's internal struggles to the country's broader economic malaise. The backlash isn't confined to social media banter. It's bleeding into electoral politics. With the ANC support sliding to just 40% in the 2024 elections, each financial misstep reinforces demands for renewal. Commentators have linked the party's payroll chaos to broader patterns of municipal mismanagement, arguing that interventions often dismantle progress rather than restore stability. The underlying message is clear. Once public trust erodes, it rarely rebounds, and the ANC's repeated stumbles risk deepening that credibility gap. The salary chaos has evolved into more than a financial headache. It's a full-blown credibility crisis. The National General Council, set to open on December the 9th, was meant to showcase Gwen Ramakgopa's plan for renewal, with promise of austerity and fresh donor support. Instead, the risk of unpaid staff staging protests threatens to derail the gathering and expose deep fractures within the ANC. For President Cyril Ramaphosa's government of national unity, the timing could not be worse. Internal divisions are already sharpening, with Panyaza Lesufi and Paul Mashatile leading resistance to the GNU, while Fikile Mbalula's allies attempt to hold the line. In this volatile mix, empty paychecks only intensify factional rivalries, turning what should have been a strategic policy summit into a political flashpoint. The ANC's financial turmoil underscores a deeper identity crisis. Founded in 1912 as a force against apartheid, the party once carried immense moral authority and drew strength from international solidarity. Today, it has become weighed down by entitlement, with Cadre deployment inflating bureaucracy and scandals such as state capture draining resources. The Political Party Funding Act was intended to bring transparency and discipline, yet the reality is stark. Even billion-rand allocations fail to secure basic obligations like staff salaries. This raises uncomfortable questions about priorities, whether resources are being channeled into grand political gatherings or lost to the lingering shadows of corruption. Amid the online ridicule, a thread of sympathy emerges for the ANC's staff. These are loyal workers who have endured the party's highs and lows, now caught as collateral in its decline. Observers point out that the salary delays, occurring for the third time this year, are not just a political embarrassment, but a human crisis. Behind the headlines are people struggling to survive, pushed to the edge by an organization that once promised stability, but now leaves its own employees in limbo. Whether salaries will be paid before the National General Council remains uncertain, with Gwen Ramakgopa offering no public comment and media reports noting silence from the top. In theory, solutions exist. Trimming costly perks for redeployed ex-ministers, pursuing transparent donor support, or even opening the books to public scrutiny. Yet, history suggests otherwise. Past promises to halve staff numbers in 2021 never materialized. For South Africa, the deeper question is whether this ongoing financial paralysis hastens the ANC's decline toward opposition irrelevance. After 3 decades of assurances that problems will be fixed next term, voters may now be asking why a party unable to manage its own payroll should be trusted to manage the country. Online reactions capture the sarcasm and frustration, reflecting a sentiment that cuts to the core of public trust. Ultimately, the ANC's financial collapse is not just about money. It symbolizes a movement adrift from its purpose. Each missed payment underscores a credibility crisis, and renewal will only begin when the party proves it can take care of its own people. Failure to do so risks a reckoning at the polls. But what do you make of all of this? Let me know in the comments section, and if you found any value in this video, please do like, share and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.